iron rule, the rule of savage men. If evil is done unto you, evil do thou again. This is the iron rule. What is the silver rule? The rule of worldly men. If good your neighbor does to you, do good to him again. This is the silver rule. What is the golden rule? The rule of righteous men. If evil is done unto you, return thou good again. This is the golden rule.
This is a chapter which is a poem of 3 paragraphs. The poet is telling us that there are certain rules by which you can choose to live your life, to conduct yourself. So he is talking about 3 such rules: the golden rule, the silver rule, and the iron rule. First, let us go through the poem once. The poem goes like this: the 3 rules. What is the iron rule? The rule of savage men. If evil is done unto you, evil do thou again. This is the iron rule. What is the silver rule? The rule of worldly men. If good your neighbor does do you good to him again. This is the silver rule. What is the golden rule? The rule of righteous men. If evil is done unto you, return thou good again. This is the golden rule. So it's a simple poem. Very simply, the poet is explaining to us that when someone does something to you, how you respond to that is up to you. It is your choice. So in the first paragraph, he is talking about the iron rule. He says the iron rule is the rule of savage men. Savage men, when something is done to them which is evil, which is bad, then what they do, they also return the evil back to that person. So this is the iron rule. When somebody does bad to you, you also be bad to them. Tit for tat. He has spoken rudely to me, I will not talk sweetly to him, I will also talk rudely with him. In the second paragraph, he says what is the silver rule? He says silver rule is the rule of worldly men, men who stay in the world, who conduct themselves more wisely than the savage men. Savage men are like soldiers, like the tribal men who are uneducated. So he says the silver rule, the worldly men behave differently. They are more concerned about when good is done to them. When someone is good to them, when someone does a favor to them, is sweet to them, they don't ignore it. They pay attention to that. Savage men pay attention to only that what is done bad to them. When evil is done to them, they remember that and they say, I must return this bad to him. But the worldly men pay more attention to when someone is good to them. And what do they do in return? They are good to them. Because he says, if good your neighbor does do you, do good to him again. So since your neighbor, since your colleague, your partner, your classmate has done good to you, then you must not ignore it. You must not forget it. You must consider it, you must keep it in your mind, and you must return the good favor. Be good to that person. Now the poet proceeds in the third paragraph to explain a different concept. He says that is the golden rule. He says, what is the golden rule? The rule of righteous men. Righteous men are those who are better than the average people. They are more educated, more refined, they are wiser. They think before action. So they are the righteous men. They want to stay on the right path. They never want to go on the wrong path. So what their rule is, how do they conduct their life? When someone does bad to them, they remember that and do good to that person. Because the poet says, if evil is done unto you if you are a righteous person, then if evil is done to you, someone has done bad to you, then savage men will be bad to them. But what the righteous men will do? Return thou good again. He says that you will return the bad behavior with good behavior over and over again. So he says this is the golden rule. Now the poet is explaining to us that these are the three ways in which we can conduct our life. It is up to us what we consider ourselves to be. If we think that we are savage men, then we should follow the iron rule, and we should remember every bad deed that is done to us and be sure that tit for tat is done. But if we think of ourselves as worldly people, as wise people, then we have to remember every good deed that is done to us, and we have to return it with a good favor. And on the other hand, if we consider ourselves to be righteous men, if we consider ourselves to be educated and refined and better than the rest of the world, then even if somebody is doing something bad to us, we have to be good to him over and over again. The one person we can think about who followed this golden rule is perhaps Mahatma Gandhi. Because he said, even if he slaps me on my cheek, I will offer him my other cheek to slap me again. I will not slap him back again. I will keep being good to him. Like in the movie Munna Bhai, they call up the radio station, and that person inspired by Gandhiism always tells them, be good to that person. If someone is spitting outside your house and dirtying the wall, he says in front of him, take a wet cloth and wipe it clean. Why? Why should he do this? So that he can arouse in that person that I am doing something bad. Because after all human beings are good. They have some goodness in them. And then when they see that this other person, he should be fighting with me, he should be rude to me, he should give me a few bad words and say, what the hell are you doing? But when he is not doing that, then somewhere there is an unrest in the person who does bad to you. And he is compelled by his own soul, by his own heart and mind to not be bad to you. So in being righteous, you are in fact converting the world into people who are righteous, making them good people. So in being correct, you are correcting the world and making this world a better place. Now that we have completed the poem, let us go to the exercises that follow the poem. The first question is, write the meaning of the following words. The first word they are asking is savage. The word savage occurs in the first paragraph of the poem. The poet says, the rule of savage men. The dictionary meaning of the word savage is fierce, that which belongs to the jungle. Here the poet means to say that savage men are those people who are like uneducated, who are not very refined by nature. They are more like uncontrolled, and they are those who get angry very fast. Those are the savage men. The next word they are asking is unto. Unto is a part of Old English. So the Old English poets used it in their poetry, and the simple meaning of the word unto is simply to. So in the first paragraph he says, if evil is done unto you, meaning if evil is done to you. So it's just Old English. And the third word they are asking is thou. Thou is again Old English. Shakespearean English uses a lot of thou and thee and thy. So the meaning of the word thou is you. Again, repeatedly he has used thou in each paragraph. In the first paragraph he says, evil do thou again. So you do evil again. So the meaning of the word thou is you. It's a part of Old English. In the second question, they are asking, state the three rules. Now you have to pay attention to the marks that are given to this question. If it is simply a 1 mark question, then simply stating the three rules. The three rules are the iron rule, the golden rule and the silver rule is sufficient. But if it's a 3 marks question, then you have to elaborate each rule. When you say iron rule, you have to explain that iron rule is the rule wherein somebody does evil to you, you do bad to them again. In poetry, it is very important that you have to paraphrase the poetry and write it in your own words. You do not pick up phrases from the poetry itself and write it in your answer, because poetry is in poetic language. But when they ask you the question, it should be written in simple paraphrase language in your own words. So for a 3 mark answer, you will say iron. The 3 rules are as follows. First, iron rule, which states that if evil is done to you, then you also do evil in return. The second is the silver rule, wherein if something good is done to you, then you also behave in a good manner to that person. And the third is the golden rule, when somebody does bad to you, then according to the golden rule, you are still being good to them. So it is very important to see what are the marks carried by each question, and accordingly you should expand your answer. The third question is, why are the rules called iron, silver and golden? So in this again, if it carries more marks, then you state each and every rule and then go on to explain why it is called iron, why it is called silver and why golden. If not, then you can simply come to the answer that iron rule is called so because iron as a metal is not a very expensive metal. It is a comparatively cheaper metal, very freely available, used every day. It is a more common metal. Because he is drawing a parallel here. Those savage men who use iron rule are commonly found everywhere. The silver is a more expensive metal and rare compared to iron. So those who follow the silver rule are the worldly men who are not so commonly found. And the golden rule, he is calling it golden rule because gold as a metal is very expensive, very sought after, worn as ornaments, not used as vessels to cook in. So he is drawing a parallel that those righteous men who are using this rule is called golden rule because those men are precious like gold, people who use this rule. Then the fourth question is, in what way are the iron and silver rules different? In the iron rule, if someone does bad to you, you do bad to them. In silver rule, if someone does good to you, you do good to them in return. So how are they different? The first point of difference is that in iron rule, you are doing bad. Of course, you're doing bad to those people who were bad to you, but your actions are evil actions, evil deeds. And according to the silver rule, your actions are good deeds because you will do good to those people who were good to you. The other difference is what the poet means to say, when you live your life and interact with people, there are going to be some who are good to you, some who are bad to you. That will go on a daily basis. But savage men pay more attention to what bad is done to them. They like to remember that, oh, that person, she said this. She's been rude to me. So they keep that more in their mind and give more importance to that. Whereas those who follow the silver rule, it's not as if nobody is doing anything bad to them. But they like to give more importance to those actions which were good to them. Those people they want to remember who were good to them. So they are paying more importance to that. So this is also the difference between the rules. What you are paying attention to. It is the glass full, glass empty kind of thing. Because if you have a glass of water which is half full, there is a category of people who will say half empty glass. And there is another category of people who will say half full glass. So it is your choice what you choose to see. You choose to see that this glass is half full of water, I have this much resource. And there are some who will see half empty, useless. So it is your choice. So this is the difference between the two rules. And the last question is, narrate an imaginary event or story in short to illustrate each of the three rules. So here what you have to do, you have to write about some incident that has occurred in your life. For the iron rule, you will be saying how someone was bad to you and you were bad to them. In the silver rule, you will be explaining a event wherein somebody was good to you and you returned the favor. And under the golden rule, you will be narrating an incident wherein somebody was bad to you and you were good to them and you were repeatedly good to them, and that's why there was a change in their behavior. So with that we end the literary questions on this poem. Now that we have finished the literary questions, let us move on to the language study of the poem. In question 6, they are asking us name the part of the speech of the underlined words. So, as we all know, there are many parts of a speech: noun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, so on and so forth. So, in the first sentence, they have underlined the word iron. The sentence is, what is the iron rule? Rule is a noun and iron is the word describing that noun. So the describing word is known as adjective. So the word iron in the first sentence is used as an adjective. In the second sentence they are saying, evil do thou again. So the meaning of the sentence is do evil again. So do what? Do evil. So when a word answers the question what, then it is a noun. So the word evil in the second sentence is used as a noun. In the third sentence, do good to him again. Again, in this sentence also, do what? Because do is your verb. So you ask the question to the verb. So do what? Do good. So good we generally associate with being a word which is an adjective, because we say good book, good person, good deeds. But when good is followed by a noun, then it is describing that noun to be good or bad or beautiful. But here the word that is following good is to, which is a preposition. It is not a noun. So do good to him. So the word good is a noun. Do what? Do good. It's not an adjective, it's a noun. In the next sentence they say, the rule of righteous men. So men is a noun. And what kind of men? Righteous men. So it's a describing word. The describing word is known as an adjective. So the word righteous is an adjective. And in the next sentence they are saying, this is the golden rule. The word rule in the sentence is a noun. And what kind of rule? It's a golden rule. So again it's a describing word. It is telling us that the rule is golden. So the word rule, the word golden is an adjective which is describing the noun rule.
What is the iron rule? The rule of savage men. If evil is done unto you, evil do thou again. This is the iron rule. What is the silver rule? The rule of worldly men. If good your neighbor does to you, do good to him again. This is the silver rule. What is the golden rule? The rule of righteous men. If evil is done unto you, return thou good again. This is the golden rule.